This one's for my father. He's not bad at the moment either, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it'll be alright. When he was young, he was a great hurler. And when he was older, he was a great storyteller. And when he was young, I live half a mile from the local crossroads, and there was a field at the crossroad called Murray's. It was a famous field. We used to call it the Field of Dreams. And in his time, all the young boys would gather there in the evening to test their mettle of one another. And at Butler's Cross then, all the old men would gather there to test their wits against one another, I suppose. And as time progressed, he progressed from one to the other. So this is for my father. It's called Murray's. In his talk of old times, it was Murray's he mentioned the most. The great days spent there hurling with his friends on a pitch marked out with jumpers and the boots they'd thrown off, so their feet be as fleet as deer's, as the ball went singing through the air, an arrow loosed from a bow, and the hurleys on fire in their hands like the swords of the warriors of old. What scenes that field has known! The day they hurled the Munster River, when the ravens circled overhead and blood flowed from goal to goal, as bareheaded and barefooted they fought like bears through the twilight and into the dark, so in the end their parents came to tear them apart and drag them home, flailing and screaming, young men ablaze with the glory of battle. Other evenings found them drifting towards Butler's Cross, to listen to the stories of the old men gathered there, characters whose names shone like stars in the firmament of his childhood. Tommy Cody, Billy Dunn, the Warrior, Lar Luby, Stony Burke, Mick Delaney, the spider spinning his yarns, and that royal rogue, the king, a fisher of men, drawing them to him in his net of golden words. And the seeds of their stories fell on fertile ground, and when harvest came the crop was abundant. The granary of his memory was laden with golden grain, and he was generous in his giving, casting it far and wide on the till fields of our minds. For who would we be if we had no stories to remind us who we are? Would we ever know, as Michael Cody, who lived in that ruined house above the spa, that he had walked to Vinegar Hill and back with a pike over his shoulder, and when the redcoats came to season, he hid in a heap of dung, and only for their horses shied, they'd never have found him? Or will we know that later, with his wife and children weeping, they'd swung him like a sack from a tree at Tynan's Cross? Will we know of Nammar's bush, where the cuckoo made her nest in summer evenings, or the wild Macosia, where Mick Carr walked like Moses through a sea of burning fires? Would we ever know we have heroes? Men and women who lived their lives as if the world itself was their soul, who laughed and loved beneath these little hills as they gave their all to each other and more. Yes, we should have paid more heed, for he'll be gone soon and a whole world with him. But his stories will remain, and it's to these we'll turn when the darkness comes and we're called to rekindle our souls.